little trick for working on curves, whether it's an inside curve or an outside curve. So as you can see by how long your presser foot is on a serger, a lot of times you're always watching up front here, and if you tend to start to curve your fabric too soon before it actually gets stitched, some of the stitches are going to look like they're hanging off the edge here. So as we stitch, we have to kind of look at both. I'm looking at the knife where it's cutting and back here where it is actually being stitched. So trying to make sure I almost hold that in place even though the front part is kind of working its way. So the tighter the curve here, the more challenging it can be. Nice gentle curve, usually not so much of a problem. Now one other thing about curves is that we usually start to hit the bias of your fabric. So that's where your differential feed will come into place. So if you've been coming on a straight of grain and then you enter a curve, kind of in the getting to the curve and exiting the curve, that's where you can turn your differential feed up to like 1.5, and it will help so it doesn't get stretched out and kind of fluted edges as you go. Well, as you turn it to kind of 1.5, here we go. Okay, change it, and then you got to remember to reset it back to normal on your way out, because now you're back to straight of grain. Okay, so that's how you'd work with an outside curve here. Ta-da! See how nice and flat that turns. So what about an inside curve? Let's just go ahead and cut one. We'll cut it kind of fairly steep here. That could be a crotch for a pair of pajama pants, something like that. All right, so really with this is almost easier because all you have to do is just pull it, and now you have a straight seam. And that is what we're gonna do. So go ahead and get it started. Once again, you need to watch to make sure your knife doesn't get cutting before you've pulled it. So get that kind of pulled out and into place here. If you're following the seam allowance lines, have that lined up there. Okay. And right on through. I'll show you how it looks. When it comes to the inside, the stitches almost just kind of want to come and angle in anyway. If you have something that needs to, you can do a few little trims or clips prior to doing that curve, and that would open it up even more.